The Isle of Wight School Board special called board meeting Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023 is called to order. Tonight we are meeting at Westside Elementary School Auditorium, 800 West Main Street, Smithfield, Virginia. We are preparing students for college, career, and life. And the clerk will take the roll call.
Mr. Cunningham?
Present.
Mr. Wooster?
Present.
Mrs. Tynes?
Present.
Mr. Marsh?
Here.
And Mr. Colick?
Present. The Vice Chair will lead a moment of silence and a pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And next we'll have the approval of the agenda or amendments.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? There is no discussion, and the clerk will take the vote. There is discussion. Mrs. Tynes.
Item 6. Request to speak. This is a special meeting for the board. There is no request. Oh, I'm sorry. Item number 6 on the agenda is request to speak. This is a special meeting for the board, and there is, I guess that request for speak is coming from the public.
Yeah, there's nobody signed up for tonight, but it is in the bylaws now.
There actually is
There,
one person.
there is one person.
Yes.
Oh,
Wait a minute.
okay, very good.
So it's in our bylaws that every meeting we have,
Except for the working meetings,
they
yes.
can request to speak?
Yes. Any meeting that we're conducting business.
Well, this is pretty much a working meeting that we are conducting business, which
Right.
is our budget. We've already had the hearing for our budget for the public. It's still our budget process. So this is a special meeting with the board and the budget, hopefully approving the budget. We've had the public hearing for the public. So this is why I'm wondering why this item is here. We're having another public hearing.
No, we're
Well,
giving
if you had request to speak, that's what it's saying.
we're giving the opportunity, one last opportunity for individuals who would like to speak about the budget to come speak about the budget.
So that's what it is. It's just without the word hearing. During the budget process, there is a process for the budget. And the first process, the superintendent presents to the board. After the superintendent presents to the board, starting this year, we meet with the joint boards, the school board, board of supervisors. Following that, we had the hearing for the public.
Mrs. Tynes, any special meeting that we have here and out, we're going to be letting people speak. Okay, these are business meetings.
Okay,
Okay, we're
I
conducting
understand.
business.
I understand what you're saying, but, you know, this process, the whole budget process within itself, we've already allowed the public to speak in their hearing. We have to give them a hearing when we bring the budget
Right.
forth. We did that. So you're telling me we're giving them another opportunity, which is another hearing?
Absolutely. Yes, Mr. Marsh.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, I'm just confused with all of the changes that's taking place, but you know what? I can deal with them
Mr.
for another
Marsh.
5 months.
Mr. Chair, if there's an objection to the way the bylaws are drafted, I'm pretty sure we have a second read up for review at our next regular school board meeting.
So if we got a second read so what you're telling me, the second read The bylaws really have not been approved officially yet, since it's a second read.
Mr. Chair, if I may, we've already approved and adopted the bylaws. However, during our last regular school board meeting, there were 2 one-line changes per Mr. Cunningham's request, if I do understand it all correctly. So there, in accordance with the bylaws that are already drafted, we have to have them up for at least 2 more reads before we change them. So if you object to the way the bylaws are written, then I would recommend that we put in those comments at our next regular school board meeting. And I don't see any other relevance in digging into this now.
A whole lot of things we don't see. But, you know, hey, there have been a lot of changes, and I have not seen anything positive that has been changed. So go on, do your thing.
Clerk, take the vote on the approval of the agenda.
Okay, Mr. Cunningham,
Yay.
Mr. Wooster,
Yay.
Mrs. Tynes,
Nay.
Mr. Marsh,
Yay.
and Mr. Colick.
Yay.
I'd like to change my vote to nay. I just realized what just happened, and yes, it needs to be nay. My vote.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll move forward with the welcome. I want to welcome everybody here tonight, and thank you for watching at home. We have been working diligently on the budget. As Mrs. Tynes has pointed out, we've had a number of meetings. Several of us have met, very closely with the Board of Supervisors and with Dr. Kramer and his staff, and I believe it's coming together very nicely. Obviously, will not be approved tonight since the school board does not have that authority, but hopefully we will be able to send it up to the Board of Supervisors very shortly. So next, we'll go with the request to speak. Ms. Clerk.
In accordance to policy BDDH-E, presentation of information on any subject will be concluded at the discretion of the board. No person will be recognized to speak more than once. Citizens scheduled on the agenda to speak will be permitted 4 minutes maximum time for their presentation. Delegations will be requested to limit their speakers to 2. Persons speaking are asked to be specific, state the issues for the board's consideration, and attach a copy of your prepared remarks. If you have prepared remarks, they should be given to the board clerk. Please do not approach the board members. Any matter relating to specific students will be heard by the school board only in a closed session. Martha Jackson.
Martha Jackson, District 3. I reside at 511A Cedar Street in the lovely town of Smithfield, Virginia. Educating our students is the mission of our Wight County Schools. It is a costly endeavor. Why? Because we're working with educating young minds so that they can compete on national and worldwide stages and take their place in society and become productive citizens. It is a cost that will pay off immensely with lots of successes. The classroom is where the mission critical work happens and where the conversion of resources into services affects student performances. Our curriculum should not be a one-size-fits-all, but tailor-made. Teaching styles should match student abilities because children learn differently. You are wrestling with some difficult decisions. Make a conscious effort to serve our students. It is of the utmost urgency that all personal agendas are set aside so that our students can be the very best that they can be. Make your budget student-friendly. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson.
That's it, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Next, we will have the budget discussion. If anyone would want to start off, Dr. Kramer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, and members of the board. I want to thank you all for your patience. I would like to remind the community that this board, I think, has more than done its due diligence. We started with the superintendent's presentation to the board on February 21st. We've had a work session March 2nd, public hearing March 7th, a school board meeting March 9th, a work session March 14th, and here we are again on today, March 22nd. I implore the board to let's please vote this evening. I want to thank all of the board members, but certainly the chair and vice chair. We have been working feverishly and in long hours into the evenings over the past several weeks. I would like to note for the community, the superintendent's proposed budget then gets converted to the board's budget, and the board will, as Chair Collick mentioned, will vote, and that budget then gets submitted and sent to the Board of Supervisors. So as Chair Collick stated, even the vote this evening does not approve the budget. It merely substantiates the board's decision as a collective entity. Our staff members are here. I wish to thank our staff members as well. I am certain that they are probably tired of me and tired of this process. So to Deputies Coleman and Getz, and to our new CFO, Mrs. Harris, thank you all for all the work that you have dedicated and committed to this process. We're prepared, Chair, to answer questions and make adjustments per the request of this board. So with that, we will await guidance and direction from the board.
Mr. Marsh.
Mr. Chair, I move to adopt the superintendent's Wight County Schools fiscal year 2023-24 budget for presentation to the Wight Board of Supervisors with the following changes. Change the local county funds revenue to $29,534,666 and change the total revenues and total expenditures to read $88,051,327.
Is there a second? Our notes.
I'll second it.
Now for any discussion. Mrs. Tynes.
Yes, I have discussion. I would like to, I notice on the superintendent staff, they have removed the diagnostician's position, and I would like to include that. Because, and the reasons why, that is a position that is very crucial to, number one, our students, especially those that need to have that, the testing done. And right now, we're utilizing our staff members, our teachers, certified teachers, to do this. And we pretty much put a lot of things on our teachers, and other than their instructional things. This is not something that they need for their instructional classroom. This is what we need to move away from. There's only one position. I think we need to put that back on and hire that individual to, at least it would help process the students, so there will not hopefully be a waiting list for them to be tested, and it will not put a load on our teachers, which a lot of them are complaining now. They just have so much to do, and they're carrying a lot of work home with them. Although we're giving them a small stipend, it's just a small stipend. I think this is a position that's needed. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tynes. Mr. Cunningham?
Mr. Chair, I would like to, I see the CTE coordinator has been deleted, and explanation here says repurpose current unfilled coordinator position to fill CTE. I mean, okay, so that's gone. Who's going to take, we don't have one now, and I know, I can't remember who, but someone's doing, who was it? Dr. Kale
Yes.
is basically doing a job now along with about 5 or 6 other jobs.
Right, what this says, Mr. Cunningham, is it's going out of the budget, that we're asking for additional funds, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Kramer.
Sure.
There's another billet that we have that pays the same amount of money that we are going to convert to the CTE coordinator. So we will have a new CTE coordinator, is that correct?
That is correct, sir. So
Okay.
thank you for the question and thank you for the clarification, Mr. Chair. So, Mr. Cunningham, we don't have a ton of positions that we can do this with, but we have had a resignation this year in a position that we will use, and we will make some adjustments to just a few positions that we have, this being one of those positions. So this gives us an opportunity to actually create that position. Now, we are a smaller division, so very few of us do one job. So this position will, in many ways, subsume some additional responsibilities, but one of these responsibilities will be to serve as coordinator for career technical education. So we will have that position, albeit not in this traditional sense. So we were able to take that out of the budget request, but the expectation is that we will be able to have that position via that other means.
Okay, so whoever is going to be doing that position, I mean, is that something that's not on this budget?
That is correct.
Okay, great.
is correct.
So somebody already in-house is just going to be given an extra duty?
Actually not, no, not someone in-house, a position that is currently vacant
Okay.
that we will use that position, change the title
Oh,
to
okay.
become this position.
Outstanding.
Yes.
All right, I'm satisfied.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And I think that speaks to my staff and the work that we're doing. We are trying to be as efficient as possible, trying to make certain that we're putting our positions where they are needed most. So that's what we were able to do with this particular position.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm
Staff, am I
satisfied.
correct?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to make sure, since CTE is growing, that we have someone that's focused on making sure it grows the way it should grow for our
Absolutely.
students. All right.
That's right. No, thank
Thank
for
you,
the
and I
question.
yield.
Mr. Marsh?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the people watching and all the other board members up here, just kind of a rehash of what's went down, and it's been over a month now since the initial proposal took place. So initially, Superintendent Kramer presented a $4,996,000 ask of money that was going to be on top of the county revenues. And so we had that first presentation, and time marched on, and we asked the superintendent to look at some areas where we could shave some off. So Dr. Kramer and his staff did their due diligence, and they reduced their ask to $3,468,296. Mr. Collick and I, as members of the Finance Committee, have worked hours with the staff. Thank you all for putting up with the barrage of questions. I know it was probably frustrating for all of us. Certainly was for me. I've learned a lot. So thanks for teaching me, and thanks for asking all my questions. And we also spent a lot of time working closely with the Finance Committee on the Board of Supervisors. The idea, at least my hope and expectation, was that when we left here with an adopted budget, that we could present a budget to the county that was achievable. In other words, in my own personal view, I didn't see a whole lot of value in presenting a number that we already knew wasn't going to get improved. So in an attempt for the school board to own the budget and present it to the county, knowing that they're going to be able to adopt something very close, kind of puts us to where we are today. And so the numbers that we have today, Dr. Kramer and his staff have worked even harder, and the ask for $2,725,936 is on top of last year's county revenue. So what that does is, for those of you that are taking notes, last year the county contributed $26,808,730. $26,808,730. That's what the county contributed to the school budget last year. This year, if adopted and approved by the county's contribution will be $29,534,666. And that's where we are today. And so that was my motion, to take the due diligence, the hard work, and some difficult decisions. And I know that there's a lot of stuff on here that I wish wasn't cut off. But you've either got the money or you don't. So that's where we're at. And again, Dr. Kramer and Mrs. Getz and Mr. Coleman and Ms. Harris, from my mouth to your ears, thank you. And I know that the work is just beginning, but I appreciate all your efforts, and I yield.
Mrs. Tynes?
I just want us to add $73,000 to that. Oh, I'm sorry. Add the $73,000 to that bottom figure, Mr. Marsh. And that will cover the position of the diagnostician that was removed. That's not one of the positions that the staff has put in there to repurpose. Some of the others they're going to repurpose, and they noted that they will repurpose, but that's not one. They just said they're just going to stifle it, which is going to do what we're doing now, stifle it to the teachers. And that's what I would like to avoid.
Mr. Chair, Mrs. Tynes, I'm certainly willing to, for the sake of getting a yay vote from all five of us, I will absolutely add that on there, with the caveat that I would expect that something's going to end up getting chopped. So
Well,
we'll have to come back.
Yeah, if it
But
does, and if it gets chopped, we'll deal with it then, but right now, I would like to send it forward, because we're doing it, this is a need, it's not a want, per se, okay? This is something we really need.
I will sit here and do the math, and I will change my motion if that gets everybody to do a yay to adopt this budget.
And if I may add, our staff is prepared to do that. I don't want to trouble you with that. That's what they have the documents up, the Google Doc up, so we will make the adjustments as we move forward per the board.
Okay.
Okay. Is
Okay,
that
so we asking
that
staff to
a
add that.
motion for an amendment, or you just want to withdraw and? It
Just
doesn't matter.
withdraw, and then
Okay.
if they approve it, then you could put it,
I
if
added
it's not approved, you can put it
73,000
back
to
up
that.
there.
To that. That's what I came up with.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to withdraw my motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. If there's no discussion, we'll take a vote.
Mr. Cunningham?
Yay.
Mr. Wooster?
Yay.
Mrs. Tynes?
Yay.
Mr. Marsh?
Yay.
And Mr. Colick?
Yay.
Mr. Chair, if I may, so staff,
Please.
we've added that back into, so the bottom line has increased by 73,000. Okay.
Which added, we have to
As
add.
soon as we get the numbers, I'll make that movement.
Yeah.
I've got for a bottom line 88,124,327.
Staff, did you have anything to add? Okay.
Yeah.
Chair,
Mr. Marsh,
pending any other discussion, I'll make a movement.
please.
Mr. Chair, I move to adopt the superintendent's proposed Wight County School FY 2023-2024 budget to present to the Wight County Board of Supervisors with the following changes. Change the local county funds to read $29,607,666 and change the total revenues and total expenditures to read $88,124,327.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? There is no discussion. The clerk will take the vote.
Mr. Cunningham?
Yay.
Mr. Wooster?
Yay.
Mrs. Tynes?
Yay.
Mr. Marsh?
Yay.
And Mr. Colick?
Yay. Thank you, everyone. We have adopted the budget for this year. Now it's going to be sent to the Board of Supervisors for their consideration. We'll continue to work with the board to make sure everything that we need we're able to get. Keep in mind, the amount of money that we are asking for an increase is actually approximately the inflation rate of this year so far. So I think it's a very fair ask. And I want to thank everyone, Dr. Kramer and your staff, for all the hard work and, again, helping us do this. And without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and adjourn this meeting. So the school board meeting is hereby adjourned. Thanks, Jason.
I feel like we need to.